Hoist. Like we, in the early days, we bring Hoist, and Horian was actually the first Gracie I met before Hoist, right? But we bring
This thing's gonna never work.
Watching these guys, like, we get like 60 guys up on the mat, and this is hard to do, and this is a lot of guys because it's Hoist, and he would run through every dude, every dude, and it was like not like it was a close match. It was like whatever dude from the depot stepped in front of him was the 12-year-old child against the fucking an adult. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like he just fucking handled everybody. And I remember one of those times, he just fucking, I did something, and he cinched down on me like a spider, and I couldn't fucking move. And he goes, "Yes, I did not think of this. This is good move." And I was like, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, you know what I mean? I wasn't even a white belt yet. It was just, he's just fucking me up, But I knew, like, right then and there, I was fucking helpless. Yeah, it's a weird feeling. And like,
athleticism, folks.
Unacceptable. You know what I mean? Yeah, right. Unacceptable. That's the right word. Yeah. Like you gotta learn this. You gotta know.
Unacceptable.
You know what I mean? And even back then, because we were more. We could train a lot of Muay Thai, boxing, like wrestling, a lot of wrestling.
Look at this athleticism, folks. Hi, folks. Norm here. Folks, this.
Which is, I think,
do a southern accent as you make this bed.
Hi,
folks. Norm here. We're making this bed like 2 shoots in a griddle. Here we go. We're going to stack this here. We're going to go over here. We're going to put this down here. We're going to put this here. We're going to put this here. We're going to go like this. We're going to take this. Look at this athleticism, folks. Hi, folks. Norm here. Look at this athleticism. I do not believe what I just saw. Look at this. Look at this athleticism, folks. Folks, there's some things I've seen in this world. This is what I've seen. Muhammad Ali have sex with Michael Jordan at the top of the Empire State Building.
Let's be clear. Human-grade food doesn't mean the food is fancy. It just means it's safe and healthy. It's simple, real food from people who care about what goes into your dog's body. The Farmer's Dog makes it easy to help your dog live a long, healthy life by sending you fresh food that's pre-portioned just for your dog's needs. Because every dog is different. And I'm not just talking about breeds. From their size to their personality to their health, every dog is unique. Plus, precise portions can help keep your dog at an ideal weight, which is one of the proven predictors of a long life. Look, no one, dog or human, should be eating highly processed foods for every meal. It doesn't matter how old your dog is. It's always a great time to start investing in their health and happiness. So, try the Farmer's Dog today. You can get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/Rogan. Plus, you get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/Rogan. Tap the banner or visit this episode's page to learn more. Offer applicable for new customers only. Yeah. Well, I think wrestling is kind of, there's like so many elite wrestlers now that have learned submissions, and that extra skill of being able to throw bodies around is another level. I agree. Because wrestlers can learn jiu-jitsu pretty easy. An elite wrestler, you take a guy like a Bo Nickel or a Daniel Cormier, you teach him jiu-jitsu. They're going to Hamza Chimaev's the best example of that. Yeah. You teach a guy like that submissions, he already knows how to ragdoll people. So he has this ability to take everybody down, and then on top of that, he's going to break your neck. Like, it's like that extra skill. I think wrestling is like the foundation. That's the one thing, because then you can dictate whether the fight goes to the ground or stays up. And then once you learn submissions, which is pretty easy for a wrestler to learn, it's pretty similar. It's the same sport. Yeah. I used to wrestle, and it's like the cradle for the pin versus Darce jokes, all these different things come from similar positions. But then stand up. You have to have stand up today because I think, I've been talking about this a lot. I think when you have a fight and it's 5 rounds, say of a fight, if a guy's mounted on top of a guy at the end of the first round, I think the second round should start with that guy mounted on top of you. I don't think they should start standing up because it doesn't make any sense. Like, you didn't earn that stand up. That guy took you down. He got on top of you. He's mounted on you. you're about to get fucked up, and then all of a sudden you have a reprieve from the governor because the round is over, and now you're standing up again. And if you're a striker, that's your world, but you didn't earn that position.
Right.
It's one fight, it's not 5 fights. It's one fight.
Right.
So why should you have a beginning of every round where you're standing up?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with
If
you.
I could change the rules, that's the first rule that I would change. I would say, whatever position you were in at the end of the round, that's where you start.
I completely agree with that. And I always feel like that it just fucks shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, you know, this doing jiu-jitsu is like seconds matter. And this fight could turn around in seconds. But those seconds can't happen if we stop this early.
100%. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Well, the early days were wild, right? Because there was no time limit.
That's what I watched. The early days is my heyday. Like, I could not get enough. I was, fight dummy for Hoist, for Sakuraba. Who else? Oh, Hoist. So, okay, I'll tell you a quick story about Hoist.
That's athletic.
He comes down. We're doing jits with him. And I'm a new guy, so I'm like, hey, you could share my wall locker, right? And you got a wall locker, and you got, like, your towel because the shower's down the hallway. You know what I mean? Like, I have my clothes, right? And then, so Hoist put his family pictures, and I didn't notice this, but they slowly did this. Him and my team re-tagged everything with, like, my last name and team numbers with Hoist, right? So they re-tagged all my gear as Hoist, right?
That's really athletic.
Hoist put his
One of the most
pictures
athletic moves of all time,
mine,
John.
right? And one day I'm in my locker, like, is this my locker? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on? And I'm like, whose kids are these? Like, and then Hoist is like, yes, you like my kids?
Bitch.
And I'm like, oh, those are your kids? Like, no, that's cool, right? Like, years
Who's
later,
this?
I'm in Iraq, and I'm like, I gotta go for like one of
Heyo.
the surges into Fallujah with another squadron, and like their ops sergeant major called me by name, and it's like, I've been in Iraq like 30
Damn,
seconds.
your fucking
You guys are calling me
posts
by
are
name, like,
beautiful.
what the fuck, And then he was like, we're
There
getting
you
your
go.
stuff. It's on the helicopter. You need to get on this little bird. We're leaving like 20 minutes. And literally, I got on the little bird. They bring my kid over. I get my shit on, right? And they're like, yo, whose shit is, hey, Royce? Is there a Royce? Royce? You know what I mean? And then, like, my bag is what? It's fucking still tagged with Royce's name.
That's
like,
hilarious. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So you started training martial arts when you were in the military?
In the unit, yeah.
In the unit. So did they have, like, was it like technical training? Did they teach you? Did they have like real instructors?
Yeah.
Or how does it work?
Yeah, so in training, when you kind of make it to the unit, there's a hand-to-hand program. A lot of the hand-to-hand program is like traditionally like you gotta cuff people. You know what I mean? Like, which is all Japanese wrist locks, which is a foundation for a lot of shit, right? But you learn that stuff, like how, if you have a weapon, how to like approach somebody, if they grab your weapon, what to do. So it was all like weapon focused, like more like self-defense. But I think back then in my day, right, in the 90s, it was still, bro, come at me like this. You know what I mean? And you're like, why the fuck would I stand like this ever? Like, what the fuck was I doing that got me here? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so it was always back then there was a lot of hocus pocus. So we kind of had our own training program. And then as my years, the training program got better because we started getting boys. We started ground fighting, I think the premise for everything they taught in my day when I was a student was like, weapons retention, Japanese wrist lock to get someone cuffed, two-man cuffing procedures, searching, and then like how to defend yourself if someone grabbed your weapon or if you went to the ground, right?
Right, which is all stuff you have to know.
Right.
But there wasn't a lot of like just one-on-one.
No. It's like, you're in the gym, they roll out the wrestling mat, and it's like, okay, come at the guy like with your rifle, a bunch of fucking white belts basically like out there fucking around.
Was it like was there a system, like a training system?
Yeah.
Was there like
there was a system back then, and the system was really I think kind of four things without really knowing what they did back then. I went through the training, but I don't really know what hand-to-hand was back then until later when I was like in the hand-to-hand program or fighting with guys. You know what I mean? I would say this. Back then, I'd say it was wrestling. It was Muay Thai, right? it was a little bit of Japanese wrist locks and some Filipino martial arts.
Oh, like Kali.
Yeah. We had guys that would do the sticks. I know a little bit of the sticks. You know, like first time I got smacked 37 fucking times around the head with another guy. This guy with his sticks. It was like, what the fuck was that? Like, how do these sticks move so fucking fast? You know?
Dudes who are good with that are very impressive.
Yeah, super impressive. So I think that was really the foundation. Like, and you know, maybe like some, I don't know, like dirty boxing, I would kind of imagine. You know what I mean? Yeah, clinching, punching, stuff like that.
How did the Filipinos develop that stick fight? Where did that come from, man? It's weird that like one culture is known for their stick fighting.
Yeah.
Kind of odd.
Yeah. Right? But hey, I love all that. The stick fighting, or they call it Pontukin or whatever, the dirty boxing they do, like all very make your opponent off balance at the same time you can strike. Or if they are trying to strike you, knock them off balance.
I've always been so fascinated how different cultures have a completely different approach to fighting. Like the Thais figured out the best way to fight stand-up.
Yeah.
Kick the shit out of the legs.
Yeah. Fucking kick his leg.
Elbow the fuck out of people in the clinch.
Yeah.
Plum, knees.
Yeah, the
knees
clinch.
to the body, knees to the face. They figured out striking in a way that nobody else had. It's just weird that they did it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because of the competition all the time and the betting.
Yeah.
Because it's like they were fighting so often and they had so much money on the line for fighting that they developed a very pragmatic way of fight, because they were fighting all the time.
Yeah.
As opposed to like karate or anything. Right. I don't think they were really fighting as much.
Well, think about America, like prior to Mike Tyson, boxing was kind of like Americans, if they would have seen like Hickson Gracie, you know, Hickson Gracie would have been popular in like the 70s or 60s. People have been like, well, that's not civilized fighting. You know what I mean? Like, get your dukes up. This has got to be fair. You know what I mean? Americans have a very fair sense of what fighting should be. Like, Americans hate like dirty fighting, but you know, all Muay Thai and Kali and all that. That was all seen. You know, those guys who come from Asia fight around the States here, fucking kick everyone's ass, and people still weren't attracted to it.
Did you ever see, there's one fight that's like one of the most important fights in kickboxing, where Rick Rufus, who is like the king of American-style kickboxing, like above the waist kickboxing, fought this Thai guy. I can't pronounce the guy's name correctly, so I don't want to butcher it. But and Rick Rufus was fucking him up in the beginning. He dropped him, he got him in real trouble. Rick Rufus was really good, but this dude is getting chopping at the legs. And by the end of the fight, Rick's in a heap on the ground. And his own brother, Duke Rufus, who became a world Muay Thai champion himself later and became one of the best trainers in MMA. This is the fight. What happened? Oh, that's his name? Good luck saying that.
Yeah.
But, this is not. This is like a compilation of a bunch of different people fighting. That's not. This is it. The fight that changed kickboxing. So this fight, well, this isn't it. This is a bunch of other shit. Good. Go into the fight itself.
Fucking
just show
Chuck Norris. I seen Chuck in there.
Chuck was legit. Chuck was very legit. So this is the fight. So in the beginning, Rick Rufus, who's like this above the weight kicks, he drops him with the left hand. Rick was really fucking good, man. He was really good. But they just didn't know anything about the leg kicks. And after the fight, like, his brother Duke was like, well, I don't think there's any skill involved in kicking the legs. And he was saying that, look, he drops him again. So he dropped him 2 times. It looked like Rick is fucking him up. But this Thai guy, he's probably had 200 fights. Yeah. And he just keeps kicking at the legs. And after a while, Rick's legs are just dead. I mean, the Thai guy's getting lit up. But Rick became an unbelievable leg kicker himself after this. But no one knew. So as the fight goes on, and this is like a huge like challenge match. See, like he drops him with this leg kick. After a while, Rick just can't move anymore, and this dude
he ain't even running away well.
No, his legs are dead right now, and he's just getting every time this Thai's kicking him, he can barely walk. And at the end of the fight, he winds up in a heap because he just doesn't know. You know, he doesn't know yet, and he's getting dumped too. Like, look at these fucking low kicks, devastating low kicks. And at the end of the fight, he's just in a heap on the ground.
Yeah, his kick had no power.
But the thing is, like, Rick was good back in the day. So when that didn't show the end of the fight, but at the end of the fight, he brutalized him with just low kicks. The Thais had figured something out that nobody had figured out. It's kind of shocking that this one area of the world, like this one small island, that they figured it out.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. It's just, and then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Yeah.
Until, Maeda comes to Brazil in like the 1930s or some shit, whatever that was. And then they go, the Brazilians are like, I think we can fix this.
Yeah.
And they started like, because Elio was a small guy, and Elio was like going, well, what about if we just did it this way? Fought with leverage, just instead of using strength, we use technique, and changed everything.
Yeah.
Changed martial arts forever.
Yeah. I love all of it. Yeah. I'll tell you, that leg kick is my go-to in Iraq and Afghanistan. You know what I mean? Like, I get about this far from you. This is good distance for me. You can't grab my weapons, but what I would do is I'd throw the Thai leg kick, but I wouldn't aim for the middle of the thigh. I don't care about your pain. I'd hit your knee, and either it's going to break your knee or it's going to knock you out of your little fucking slippers. And then I just stand on your neck.
Yeah, it's one of the most effective things you can do. You take away someone's face.
Yeah.
And, it's crazy thing about MMA is now we're learning that kicking in the calf is actually even more effective than kicking in the thigh.
Yeah.
Because there's no meat there.
Yeah.
And you slam a shin into that, then all of a sudden your foot goes floppy. It doesn't work anymore. Your leg's useless. It's crazy. And we figured that out over the last 5 or 6 years, which is really nuts. Like Michael Bisping, who was a world champion, told me he went his whole career without ever getting kicked in the calf.
Wow.
And that was like, 4 or 5 years ago, he was a world champion. And went his entire career without getting kicked in the calf. Nuts. It's nuts. It's like it's constantly changing and evolving. Like people find something that works and they're like, oh, what about this?
I love that it's always evolving too.
Well, martial arts has evolved more in the last 30 years than they have in the last 30,000 years.
I agree.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. And that's kind of shocking. You think about how long people have been fighting.
I don't know. I see this, I shoot every day. I teach people to shoot all over the country all the time, right? And it's kind of interesting to me that I don't think it works like that. You know what I mean? Like you would think people would have been doing this right the whole time, but there's like a lot of myth involved, and it gets watered down over time. I think
Even
a lot
in
of
shooting?
times, even in shooting, yeah.
Like, what are the myths in shooting?
Oh, so fucking many, man.
Really?
Like, do we got the time? I fucking shred this shit. The NRA, I speak at the NRA shows. Like, the NRA hired me. I speak at the NRA show this year. I actually got roofied in fucking Dallas at the NRA show. Yeah, no shit.
Do you know who did it?
So this is crazy, right? But okay, I have an assistant, right? I don't know. She's like 30, blonde girl, pretty girl. Her and her husband are with me, and I'm with like the Surefire representative. Like, sorry, we got you goofied, by the way. And then like some other guys, right? And we get done with the show, and we just go have a drink or two, and we're going into like the hotel restaurant to eat a nice steak dinner. You know what I mean? So we get around to drinks, and it was like old-fashioned is what it was. Old-fashioned. And my assistant's like, I sit next to her. She's like, I just can't drink anymore. You know what I mean? Like, these are horrible old-fashions. I just can't drink these anymore. It's like, hey, we'll be at dinner in a minute. They got good booze at the good restaurant. Get anything you want, right? So she's like, okay. So I was like, here, I'll take it. So I held my cup up, and then I kind of held my cup up, the Surefire guy, her husband, and she kind of fills us all up equally. And so somebody was trying to groove her, right? So, yeah, this is in Dallas, right? So, okay. So we go to dinner. I get this Wagyu burger. It's fucking delicious. I'm kind of buzzed. I'm drinking good whiskey. You know what I mean? We're having a good time. Right? I love good food, right? So I'm having a great time. Her husband's at the end of the table. And all of a sudden, now this is like within 45 minutes of that drink, which I also didn't know, right? So his head hits the table, boom. And I look at him, and I'm like, is he okay? And then hey, you know how them blow up pools where you pull down the side and the water just kind of glides over the top? His mouth opens, and it was just like, across the table. You know what I mean? And I was like, I pushed away from the table, like, so it didn't leak on me. And I was like, we gotta go. You know what I mean? It's time to leave. You know what I mean? I'll get the check by the front door or something. You know what I mean? But we definitely.
And you weren't feeling it yet?
No, I wasn't. I didn't feel anything yet, right? So, okay. So it was like I've never seen this happen to this guy ever, right? So this isn't him, like. So it's kind of weird, right? So my assistant's like, hey, I'll take him up to the room. I was like, okay, well, we're gonna go have a few more drinks at the bar, right? So me and the other guy go to the bar. She goes up to her room, right? I don't know any of this is happening, but as soon as they get to the room, the head of security's knocking on the door. So my assistant answers, and I guess the guy was like, is there a guy that's running the restaurant here? And she's like, he's in the bathtub naked right now. Like, and then head of security, like, hey, we watched the tapes. Ton of info comes out, right? So
I don't know who did it.
I think so, but like, and then
Did it tell you?
No. They talked to my assistant and then her husband, right? Like, so I go down to the bar, right? I put my credit card on the bar, and like, I fucking party till all hours of the night, yo. What did I learn? If you roofie me, like, you're gonna wait 6 hours to get that booty, because once you give me drugs, I want to party, baby. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm out. Like, I don't know what the fuck the surefire guy fucking peters out on me, and I'm probably just in the lobby alone, like, oops, fucked up. I don't know.
Do you know what was in it?
Fuck no.
There's just something. It wasn't necessarily roofing all.
Yeah.
Probably something.
I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
So the next day we check out, right? Show's over, we check out. So my assistant's knocking on my door, right? And I'm a get up early guy. I do my cardio, you know. So I'm normally up early, and she's knocking on my door, right? So I answer my door, and I'm like thinking, what the fuck is she doing here so early, right? Both of them, her and her husband. And she's like, you know, I'm glad you're okay. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? And she's like, what? And she's looking at me. She's like, not you too. And I'm like, me too, what? You know what I mean? I'm kind of foggy, right? It was like it was checkout. It's after checkout time. I slept till like fucking 1 in the afternoon the next day. I had the worst fucking hangover ever. Like, if that was roofies do, the hangover, I understand why people don't do it recreationally. You know what I mean? Like, I had the worst fucking hangover. So she's like,
did anybody get tested to find out what it is?
Mm-hmm. No, they had to fly home that afternoon. They got me in my Sprinter van. I had to go to a class like somewhere else. I was on the fucking road. So like, they drove me to breakfast, got me something to eat, kind of sobered me up a little bit, right? And then they went to the airport, dropped me off, and I drove somewhere else in Texas. I was working there. And then, you know, the head of security talked to her and her husband, called them a couple days later, check on them, make sure they were okay. But long story short is we had a round of drinks that none of us ordered come to our table. And they came to our table from the same waitress that we had. You know what I mean? So somehow we got a round of drinks, and we even paid for them. And when I got the bill, like, I don't know, we had 2 drinks, and we were getting ready to go. And then a third one came, and I just figured someone ordered it. You know what I mean? It'll be fine. And then I just paid for it all, did not even think of it.
And so did the security know who roofied you?
I think so.
And they didn't tell you?
I think they told my assistant. I think they...
And you didn't ask her?
No. I didn't care. Yeah.
Oh,
I think it was like a targeted thing where they just fucking rob you.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I don't think... I mean, all right, first and foremost, I think everyone's trying to burgle booty holes at this day and age, and you got to keep yours safe. So there's that, right? But I also think, like, I think it was like they know all these people are in for these conventions, so they try to drug somebody and just rob them. Just fucking, you could have just I'd have handed you my wallet. I thought, you know what I mean? Like it's not a crime. He handed it to a buddy of mine recently. Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he met this girl, and they go back to his place, and then he wakes up the next day and he's robbed. Stole his Rolex, stole $25,000 in cash from him, but he got tested. And he had, I think it was Xanax. She piled a bunch of Xanax into his drink, and he was just out. Didn't know what the fuck happened. Came to the club afterwards. He was like all fucked up. Came to the comedy club. He's a comedian. Hans Gibb. Shout out to Hans. Hilarious guy. So he's like, something happened. I don't know what happened. We were like, hey man, go get tested right now while it's still in your system. So he goes and gets his hair tested. They found that there was rubies in it.
Damn. I didn't even know you could be tested.
Yeah, you can be tested.
Oh shit.
But there's like a time period. If you test hair, it'll like last a little longer. I think he waited a day, so they had to test hair. But within a certain time period, they can test you and find out what it is. And they said, did you take any Xanax? He's like, no. Like, you have a lot of Xanax in their system. And apparently that's one of the things that they give people to rob them.
Dang. Does it cause a hangover?
I'm sure.
Fuck. If you're gonna drug me,
it's gonna whack you
yo,
out.
drug me. Yo, if you're gonna rob me, like, I just want to say this to the world. If you're gonna fucking rob me, like, give me the non-hangover shit. You're getting my shit anyway.
What is the non-hangover shit?
Fuck, I don't know. Whatever that shit is. You know more about drugs than me. I was in the army my whole life.
I don't think it exists.
Damn it, Joe.
I think it's prescription stuff or GHB. I know a lot of people give people GHB.
I've heard of that.
That just gets you like, you don't know what the fuck's going on. I've heard of people getting roofied that way. If I was a woman, I'd be fucking terrified to accept a drink from anybody.
Fuck.
Dudes I've talked to so many ladies that have had their alcohol drugged by someone. Women go to bars, they keep their fucking hand over their drink all the time. Even when they're turning around, they're looking away. Because they just never know. Some guys just drop something in there real quick. Next thing you know, you're going home with them. You don't even know where you are.
I had a buddy, he doesn't even drink. Like, someone convinced him to have, like, a glass of wine, small town, North Carolina. And, like, the cops pulled him over, like, you know, not far down the road. And he was like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't feel my hands, you know what I mean? Like, and he's like, he's just a regular guy, you know, and they brought him back to the station. Someone had put, I think it was a little bit of fentanyl or shit in the wine. And, like, he left and he said he felt fine, and he was driving. He said, like, I don't feel right, even though, like, he doesn't really get one glass of wine. Like, he doesn't even drink, you know, and I don't even know why he had a glass of wine. Someone probably talked him into it. He probably didn't even finish it, but he's like, he said he was lucky. He felt lucky.
Fucking non-human people out there.
I'm telling you, that's one of the things I want to talk about today is, like, there's fucking real evil in the world. And in Iraq, we're in Afghanistan, you go into these fucked up places where they've been, like, I don't know, fucking raping, beheading people, fucking forever, tribal shit forever. Like, there was buildings I didn't even want to fucking go in. Like, you'd go and you'd be like, every fucking hair on my body just be standing up. When I got at the doorway, you'd be like, I don't even want to clear this fucking building. You know what I mean? And I don't know fucking why, but I know there's fucking old evil in this.
Evil's real.
It's fucking real.
And if you've never experienced it, you can walk around delusional, think, oh, come on.
It's real. You can feel it. Like, when I'm around real evil shit, only two places I felt real evil shit in my life is Gettysburg and fucking in Iraq.
Gettysburg.
Yeah, I felt that. Like, I did, because I felt evil before, and it, like, makes me want to throw up. It hurts my stomach.
You mean in the area of Gettysburg?
Yeah, on the battlefield.
My stepfather felt the same thing. And he's not woo-woo at all. He's like a real straight-edge guy.
Fuck, man.
And then said it felt so creepy.
I was almost going to, me and my son were out there ghost hunting, right? And we were both going to throw up, and I didn't tell him, but, like, I had felt that feeling.
It's crazy. You said about Gettysburg, because my stepdad's never said anything like that before. And he said just the feeling was so sad and creepy, and you just wanted to get out of there immediately.
It makes me want to throw up, that feeling.
I think police have memory. I really believe that.
Well, I think it's energy, and I don't think it can be created or fucking. You talk to science guys, right? Energy don't go away, right?
Well, I think you just don't see it, you can't measure it, so you assume it's not there. But I think that's one of the reasons why when someone gets murdered in a house, they have to tell you about it.
Right?
They have to. Because, like, people, they know. Like, there was John Benet Ramsey's house. When I lived in Boulder for a while, we were looking at houses to buy, and there was this one house that was, like, really cheap for the house. It was a nice fucking house. They had changed the name of the street so they could try to sell this house. Because everybody knew that it was the house that John Benet Ramsey had been killed in. They couldn't fucking sell the house. And we were looking, fuck that house. We were looking at the house on, like, Zillow. We're like, oh, it's a beautiful house. Maybe we should go check out this house. And then we found out, like, oh, that's why they can't sell it. Like, oh, man. Like, they changed the name of the street to try to sell this house.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Should have just bulldozed it.
They should have bulldozed it, and then what do you do about the ground? It's still there. Would you want to live in a place where they bulldoze the house for a little girl getting killed? Fuck that.
No. not even joking about it. I don't want to.
No one wants to live there. I don't even know what it is now. I mean, I don't know if anybody ever bought it.
Yeah. I grew up in old houses in the Chicago area, you know what I mean? And like some of them houses were creepy for no reason, and some weren't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's something to that.
But hey, I was in Iraq, and I was in one of them like Une Kusei, like fucking rape to people. Them guys were evil.
You went to like their palace, that kind of shit.
Like yeah, I carried their bodies off an airplane and had to guard them until they got cleaned up by the morgue and DNA tested. But them fucking guys, them palaces, like they could bring fucking 12-year-olds off the street. They didn't give them the dogs, the lions. We found them fucking they had lions, and the lions were. It's not funny, but I mean it's kind of humorous. But I think it's funny. The lions were like on the army side, the big army side, and they were inside this fence, right? And then the lions were like just lazy as fuck, didn't care about no army guys. And then one day I seen a lady and kids walk by, and they're just behind chain link, and them fucking lions went nuts, and I knew like only that. Fuck yeah, they were fucking evil.
I heard so many horrible stories about those guys. They would find a woman who was getting married, and they would rape her and then feed her to their dogs.
Yeah. Or the fucking carp outside the palaces, them big lakes full of these giant carps that just are gonna eat bodies like you read about. Yeah. But so I was down in one of those one night just because like I could be, and I had my flashlight. Always been fascinated by ghost hunting, by the way. So I'm down there by myself, just exploring, you know what I mean? And like, the fucking door slammed on me, you know what I mean? I was freaked the fuck out, and I'm the only one down there, you know what I mean? Like, freaked me the fuck out, man. Yeah. And the energy down in those fucking like rape rooms or whatever, I don't know what the fuck you call it. Like, they did fucking bad shit there. It's just like, I don't know, like it like. You ever ride like a roller coaster and it like turns your stomach? Yeah. That's how it feels to me in them rooms. I don't know what that is, but it makes me almost want to throw up. And the stronger it is, the more I feel like I'm going to throw up. But yeah, we're such fucking monsters. It's just so crazy that story repeats itself over and over again. Like the sons, kings, they grow up that way and are always like super fucking evil because they have unchecked power from the time they're a child. Yeah. I gotta be honest. If I could clone myself and I'd have like a mini me right now, I would abuse him just to make sure he grows up right. I would raise him right. You know what I mean? Like, I don't. And when I say abuse him, I mean like
force him to work hard.
Yeah, fucking earn his shit his whole fucking life. I mean like, I had a guy like I had a. I don't know what he was. I was in the Middle East somewhere, and one of the guys asked me like, "Are American babies stupid?" And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Are American babies stupid?" And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, in America, like there would be a fence at the edge of the cliff so the baby can't go over. In my country, like the baby knows don't go by the cliff." And I'm like, I don't know. Like, fuck, what the fuck?
Well, I bet they don't. I bet the babies that don't know go off the cliff, and those genes never propagate.
Again.
Yeah. That's the most harsh form of natural selection.
Darwinism right there.
The most harsh form of it. Yeah. It's no fucking. I mean, kids that grow up outside, lock-key kids. Like when I was a kid, just left out of the house. Bye. Have fun. And you figure out who's the child molester. You figure out who's a creep, what's dangerous. Don't go near the train tracks. You can't hear the train until it's too late.
Stay away.
If you hear about the kid that gets hit,
at the liquor store.
Exactly.
Yeah. I did the same thing.
You learn about danger.
Yeah. I tell you, I got my first key. I was 6. I fucking lost it like the same day. My mom's yelling at me, and she's like, what do you have to say for yourself? I was like, I still remember, it's like one of my oldest memories. It was like, I'm 6. Yeah. And she was just kind of, I'm 6. Like, I had it one fucking day. Like, I never carried a key in my life. Like, of course I'm going to fuck this up. And she was like, we can't afford all these keys. You know what I mean? Right. But at the same time, like, I'm fucking 6, so we ended up having to hide it somewhere. And then, because my brother wasn't good at fucking keys either. Like,
You know, it's fucked up that I don't want that to happen to my kids. Like, I don't want my life is nothing like your life, but I was definitely, like, let loose in the world, you know, and not really given any guidance.
Kind of let loose with no guidance.
But that's how you make a person like you. Like, a person like you doesn't come from a home that has, like, you know, you're coddled, you're taken care of, you're always protected. Yeah. Like, the only way you make, like, a legit beast of a man is that man has to go through a lot of shit through their life, and then they come out on the other end hard.
Right.
It's the only way.
Right.
You don't, you know, I've never met, like, a world champion fighter that came from, like, the happiest of childhoods. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah. But I don't see a lot of unit or special forces or ranger guys, like, I used to call it the fatherless, you know what I mean? And it works kind of two ways. Either you had a dad, but he worked and he came home and he passed out and he woke up and he was gone before you got up, and when you got home he was asleep on the couch or already out for the night because he fucking works fucking a lot of hours. Or you kind of just didn't have a dad, you know what I mean?
Right.
Those people make special forces soldiers. Just like, you know, dad issues for a chick or put her on a pole, those same issues in a dude puts them in special forces.
Yeah.
And I'll take the fatherless all day long.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, those are the world champions. I mean, that's Mike Tyson, right?
Yeah.
He's 13 years old, no family.
Yeah.
Gets adopted by a guy who's a psychologist, who's a hypnotist.
Yeah.
And he's a great boxing coach. He teaches him to become this elite fighter. And I kind of think that you don't become that guy unless you're dealing with all sorts of unspeakable tragedy and horrors when you're a child.
Well, you wouldn't have that kind of focus without that.
Right. You wouldn't have that monster inside. Like, you have to, that monster has to grow because it needs to be there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, like, and I don't know what the ratio is, but I would say, like, 1 out of every fucking 100 or 300 is, like, the fucking high school quarterback who married the fucking prom king.
Very rare.
Yeah. Like,
very rare.
I think I only knew one of those guys.
Yeah, and those guys, I bet if you dig into their childhood, their dad is probably a little abusive.
Yeah, or their mom, or
a brother.
Yeah, something.
There's another thing, older brothers. It's like, you want to find the young brother. The young brother's the beast.
I'm the little brother.
That's it. The young brother gets beat up by the older brother and just constantly in battle his whole life. Like, so many fighters, the best fighters have, like Chris Weidman's got a great story like that.
Well, I mean, think about this. If you had to fight your bigger brother off your whole life, you would be good at jiu-jitsu. Why? Because you understand leverage, you understand patience, wait for the move, take some punishment, move later, you know the deal.
You're also accustomed to being in battle all the time with your brother.
Right.
Yeah.
Hickson was the little brother to Holmes.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah, and Orion. Yeah, Hickson is he's such a unique guy because he was like the first guy that figured out like that physical strength, yoga, all the gymnastic, natural stuff that he did, flexibility. Like, he was like a physical specimen on top of being super technical.
Yeah.
So he had like both things.
Yeah, he had it all.
Yeah.
Way before people.
Way before.
Like, he knew the winning mindset and how to keep that mental edge with all the other things. And the fighting was just something that he grew up to do. I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he had that samurai mindset.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think he, like, I talk to a lot of people. I know some legendary guys from the Army, right? When he talks, it's like this weird time vortex. You ever talk to him? Like, seriously?
Yeah, I've had a couple of podcasts with him.
Wow, like, it's incredible. You know,
I went over his house once in like 2000, and him and his son, and we were watching Coliseum. So Coliseum was like the last time he fought, when he fought Funaki, and we were watching all the different fights. He had a tape of it. We were watching it, and he was breaking down all the things that all these guys were doing wrong. It was such a fascinating education.
Yeah.
He was like, "There's too much space.
Yeah.
There's too much space." And he goes, he had this
good accent, by the way.
He goes, "We started in neutral point. If I get to 1, I'm not going back to 0. I'm going 1, 2, 3 to checkmate." He goes, "I'm not going backwards." He goes, "These guys, they lose position. They go for here, go for there, all this extra space." And he was like breaking it down while we were watching the fights. It was such an education.
Love that.
Oh, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah, he's a legend.
Oh man, like one of the great legends of martial arts. You know, if you like go into the history of martial arts, Rickson Gracie will go down as, you know, there's a Mount Rushmore of martial arts legends. Him and Hoist are right up there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Hoist will tell you, like Rickson, he goes, my brother's 100 times better than me.
Yeah. Well, when Hoist used to come to us, he would tell us straight up, I'm not the family fighter.
Yeah.
Our you know, and I think what he told us back then was like, I don't know, Rickson was pride contracts. UFC was different. Couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
That's why Hoist even fought, right? I thought that was kind of the deal back then. But
Well, I think
that was a long time ago.
There's a bunch of different thoughts on it. You know, Hoist jokes around. He goes, look how beautiful I am. That's why they wanted me. But it was also because Rickson was very physically dominant. And the idea was like, let's have this guy that doesn't look physically impressive to show jiu-jitsu, to show the power of jiu-jitsu. But if that doesn't work, then we bring in Rickson. But obviously, Hoist beat everybody. And then Rickson went over to do Japan Valley Tudo.
Yeah.
In like 94, I think it was.
I used to love all of the Valley Tudo's pride. I thought that was the best.
Oh, the golden era of martial arts. It's just when everybody was learning.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, so much out there.
Yeah, I agree.
I loved every minute. And then Fedor Emelianenko comes on the scene.
Fedor is my favorite.
One of the all-time greats. He's another one. I mean, if there's an greatest heavyweight of all time, he's got to be in the conversation.
I feel like back in the day, we'd be talking about fighting, and I'd be like, man, I wonder if anyone's ever like done this from like the mount. Yeah, Fedor won like 6 fights like that, and then like, I wonder if anyone's ever done like something like this, and like, well, Fedor won his last fight just like that, and you're just like, fucking this guy, like,
in his prime, he was a monster.
Yeah, I agree.
And so stoic. Like his expression never changed.
Yeah.
He gets head kicked, he gets suplexed, nothing.
It's like no one's home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Just didn't register. Just a machine.
Yeah. I loved him, man. I like when he. I seen an interview one time. Remember his brother Alexander?
Sure.
He was like, Alexander is better than me if he just wouldn't party so much.
Yeah, he was an animal.
And I was just thinking, fucking Fedor saying his brother's better than him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, his brother was bigger and taller and was a nasty striker. Man. His brother was a vicious striker.
Had good kicks too.
Oh my god, he was fucking good, man. But that was the days where, you know, everyone was just kind of figuring out what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah. You had Vanderlei.
Oh man. It was also a time where everybody was juicy.
Yeah.
The whole organization was like, I had a friend who was going to fight over there, and he was 170 pounds, and they said, no, we want you to fight at 185. Go do steroids. Like, go do steroids. He's like, tell us, do steroids. When Ensign was on the podcast, he told me in the contract, it said, like, in capital letters, we do not test for steroids. They're like, go have fun.
Come back yoked up.
Come back juicy.
Yeah.
Everybody was juicy back then. Because it was the wild days. It was like the Wild West.
Right.
They just wanted the best, most exciting fights possible.
I think that's what people want now.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
There's a real argument.
I don't think the fans give a fuck about drug testing.
No.
I don't think, and I think this is for all, like the Olympics. I get it, but the NFL, like seriously, why even fucking, why?
Wrong. That's what you want the sport to suck. Like baseball. That was the thing when they were doing like Mark McGwire and all that shit. And Sammy Sosa.
Yeah.
Like, why are you testing these guys? It's the most exciting thing is to hit a home run. These guys are doing something that makes them better at hitting home runs. Everybody should do that thing. Whatever the fuck that is.
Think about how much more money that brings those organizations.
Yeah, but there was this thing back then that it was cheating. But what it really is science. Like they figure out there's a way where you recover more, you get stronger, you get faster. They're like, hey, do that, guys. And by the way, everybody else is doing it too. They're just like hiding it in some sort of a weird way. You know, they're just masking it and taking weird stuff. And there was, you know, that Balco scandal where they're all taking stuff called the clear. So they never heard of that. Never heard of that?
No,
I had that guy, Victor Conte, on the podcast who created the clear. And he's a scientist. And what he did is Balco Labs, they figured out that when they're testing for very specific metabolites. So they took steroids and then they changed it slightly so that it didn't show up in the test. And they're giving them the stuff and they would all pass clear. And they were all fucking just monsters, like Barry Bonds. He was a monster. I met Barry Bonds in 1994. I was on his television show called Hardball. And Barry Bonds was was, he's still a major league player, a big time player. But he's a regular guy. Like, he looked like a regular athlete. And then he started getting juicy, and then years later, he gained like 60 pounds. Just fucking gigantic, smashing home runs. Like, that would be good. Like, you should keep doing that, whatever you're doing.
I think that's all sports. Jump as high as you can. Take your fucking gear, jump high, run far, smash each other. Let's go.
Well, that's the enhanced games. The enhanced games doing that. They're developing this whole protocol right now, and the enhanced game is going to let people do whatever the fuck they want that works. Yeah. And their idea is, we are going to develop the best athletes in every discipline, and then we're going to give them a lot of money. And we're going to, fuck the Olympics. The Olympics is a giant scam.
Yeah.
Because the Olympics, the athletes don't make any money. And NBC and all these broadcast networks and the IOC, they're making billions of dollars off the backs of these athletes' hard work. And no one is going to see them. They're going to see the athletes.
Right.
I mean, the athletes aren't even compensated. It's a crazy scam. It really is. Because it's not like, if no one made any money, including the networks, including the IOC, great. Right. That's not the case.
Yeah.
Someone's making a fucking shit ton of money, but it's not the people that are putting in the hard work. It's the people that are pointing cameras at them.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest fucking thing of all time. Yeah, so the enhanced games is like, let's throw out the drug testing, let's encourage people to do whatever the fuck that works, and let's give them a lot of money. So, like, whoever wins, whatever it is, we give them $1 million.
Yeah.
And then you'll get, like, the elite athletes will be like, well, why am I wasting my time competing for free? Maybe I blow out an ACL or herniate a disc and my career's over and I don't have shit to show for it. Or I can do steroids and then win and have money for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I want to watch the steroid sports.
Of course.
You know what I mean? The enhanced league or whatever it's called, that sounds to me like the NFL's going away. I want to see the mountain hit another mountain. You know what I mean? Like, let's go.
Guys that they told the NFL would just say everybody get juicy. Fuck, those guys are already freaks.
They're already doing it. Like,
probably.
You know what I mean? I only imagine. I don't know. But my 2 cents is like, you're doing it anyway, just fucking go with it.
The way I understand it is they let them know when testing is happening. And so then
why even waste the fucking money? You know what I mean? Like, phone it in. Let's just phone that in. You know what I mean? Like, yo, I took that drug test. Okay, click, save some money for it.
The drug test should be multiple choice.
That's
Fill it out.
The drug test should be, we're just kind of curious if you had any success, and we want to know what works so we can recommend better stuff to people.
Right. But there's this weird thing about, protecting the athlete's health. Like, hey, fuckface, they're playing football. If you really cared about their health, you would tell them don't play football.
So true.
There's no way you care about their health. Yeah. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, there's inherent natures of danger there.
Yeah.
Concussion, knees, shoulders,
right? Everything gets blown out.
Yeah.
How about vaccines? How about you making them get vaccinated and then have fucking heart attacks on the field? Does that make any sense? No. You don't care about their health. You're full of shit. Yeah. Those guys didn't have to worry for a second about COVID. They're elite athletes of the highest order. You really think that something that is literally only kills like 0.03% of the people who get it, and those people, or most of them have comorbidity? Oh, bullshit. You don't care about them. Yeah. Let them get juicy.
Yeah, fucking juice. Let's go. Get that gear. You know what I mean? Hey, let's take those piss cups and turn them into fucking drink cups. Yeah. Serve them some whiskey in the locker room. Let's get this shit going. And I want more fighting in my sport. You know what I mean?
That's why I like hockey.
Yeah, I love hockey.
The last sport that allows fist fights normally in the middle of the sport. Yeah. It's the only sport that allows the occasional fist fight.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
I live in North Carolina. There's like a little local hockey team at Brack. And like, I go to a lot of hockey games because it was like $7 for like a long time, you know what I mean? And they'll fucking blood on the ice on the Thanksgiving day. They'll throw like they'll have like a non-league team come in, and it's fucking blood on the ice, man. These like the Southern Provisional Hockey League, like I love this.
It's just wild that that's the only sport where fist fighting is allowed.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy because it's grandfathered in.
Yeah,
because it's basically bare knuckle boxing in the middle of a sport.
Yeah,
which is real weird.
Yeah, well then you got soccer where like you rubbed elbows like, what the